Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 1, well, technically episode 0, session 0 of book 2 of Mage the Ascension the Victorian Age. I'm just going to blur it all together because I can't speak French. The Diabolical Cage. There, I said it in English. The most English way you could do it. Have it in French and still say it in English. Hi, everybody. How's it going? I am your storyteller for the evening. My name's Kelly. You see in him, and I'm very excited to be here tonight because we are starting with our prologue for game 2. So we're going to be answering questions from the chat. We're going to be hanging out for a couple hours, and we're going to be getting some guidelines set up for book 2, which is going to be starting not too long, actually. In fact, I think we're supposed to be starting in 2 weeks. Oh, God. Just 2 weeks.
Yep.
Ah!
Game 1 is literally the night before I move. It's
God.
Oh yes, fun.
Well, just don't pack your stuff.
Nope.
Before we begin that, though, we're going to pass around, say hello, and let's start with Christine.
Hello, I am Christine. I use she, her pronouns, and generally I am playing, when we play Mage, Dr. Evelyn Taylor, our Society of Ether member. But yeah, I have to get my wig finished getting ready for the next game.
Fair. All right, over to Amy.
Oh, hello, that is me. I am Amy. I use she, her, they, them pronouns, and I'm excited for book 2 and bringing back Chastity and all of her trauma that she just got. She's fine. She's fine.
She's fine. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no. What trauma?
Absolutely
Anyway.
fine. Good to have you. Good to have you here tonight. Let's say hello to Jen. Hi, Jen.
Hi, coming to you live unexpectedly from Victoria rather than Halifax. Whoops. Well,
Whoop.
that's a thing. But hey, I'm safe and on the ground and not dying in a plane crash. So we'll take what we can get, right?
Yes. So for those who are unaware, Canadian planes were grounded because of a Russian
Just
volcano.
BC planes.
Just BC
Yes,
planes?
BC planes. Yeah.
Okay.
Basically a volcano erupted in Russia. There was a whole bunch of volcanic ash. My flight was the literal next flight to leave when we were told we couldn't go. So I'm not in Halifax, which is unfortunate, but hey, we're dealing with it. And I get to be here on actual camera and rather than just voice. So
Which is handy.
yeah. Anyways. Hi, I'm Jen. I use she, her pronouns, and usually I play Josephine Carrington, our Order of Hermes Bani Tharsis mage. And I need to figure out how she is now a little while after all of the events of book 1.
Yeah. Costume changes are always going to be fun. I have so many costume changes for
I
myself.
have costume changes. I need to figure out who she is as a person.
Oh, wasn't it the same thing? You know, same outfit, same new outfit, new me. And over to Robin, who also is going through some changes.
Changes. Hello, everyone. I'm Robin. I use she, her pronouns, and I usually am playing a Darcie Harkness, our member of the Verbena, and yeah, the end of book 1 changed Darcie, and it's an interesting arc that she's going through. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, things happened, and I'm excited to talk about what happened before, during Paris, maybe. But it's fun. I'm looking forward to book 2. Wee.
All right. And folks, before we begin, I just have to do a quick thank you to our sponsors for this month, Bookwyrm Games. Bookwyrm Games is a Vancouver adjacent dice emporium that serves basically everybody with the best dice available, everything from acrylics to wooden to edible dice. And they even have some brand new Mage the Ascension gemstone dice, which I have right in front of me in this fancy yellow bin to make them stand out. Look at those. That is honest to God amethyst.
Oh, much
so
want.
envious.
Much want.
Much want. And they roll real well, folks. Just saying.
Oh, no.
They do. That was a 4, but that was a 2. Okay, this one's a jerk, but the next one's gonna roll well. There, it's a 2. All right. Well, still. But anyway, they're fantastic dice. They're a fantastic company. Go and support them. If you go to Bookwyrm Games, that's Bookwyrm like a dragon, not like a dirt worm. You can use code DorkTales to save 10% off your order, and if your order is $100 Canadian or more, and our dollar is in free fall right now, so go enjoy, that is free shipping to you. So please go enjoy yourself. And while you're there, check out their amazing quest chests, which are system agnostic, game in a box that is full of everything you need to run an adventure. Maps, sometimes coffee and tea or other edible items, as well as puzzles, riddles, and handouts. Even like metal coins. They have a coin guy. I want a coin guy. I just want coins.
I want their edible dice just so I can eat dice.
Right? All right.
Your
So,
pleasure.
folks, thank you so
There
much.
was a discussion. Oh, sorry.
There was a discussion about what?
Oh, on NADPOD about which would be the most pleasant dice to eat. Between like the D20 and the D12 were kind of the two options of like which one would go down the easiest.
Probably the D12. It's more circular, I think, but it's not too circular. It wouldn't get lodged in your throat. But anyway, thank you to Bookwyrm Games for your support. Thank you, Robin. That was a good add-in. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Oh, you're welcome. I'm sorry.
All right. So, folks, if you're tuning in for the first time, we are doing a prep session tonight and just doing some chat with you and prep on what is up with book 2. So, anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns over here among you guys? Nada? Nothing?
Many concerns.
Yeah, many
Couple
concerns.
questions, but many concerns. Many concerns.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
no questions at all. Anybody have anything they want to talk about? Anything they want to check in on? No?
I'll
I don't
be
even
honest,
know where to
this weekend has been
start.
such a shit show that I have zero brain that I've put towards this. So we're gonna find out how we're going here.
Yeah. I think it's like there's a lot to ask and have questions about. Like basically obviously there's going to be some time jump of where book 2 ended or book 1 ended and then book 2 starting. So kind of like, I guess, I don't know, maybe a quick recap and for the chat as well. And
Okay, so for those who missed last game, basically the idea is that the characters were brought together by a series of circumstances that led to them meeting up in Victorian London. All of the characters are roughly from that era or from some time very nearby. I will let Amy explain that later if she feels like it. And the characters, well, actually, do you guys want to tell the story? Do you want to hit the highlights or do you want me to?
Combination?
Okay, well, I know where I started off with, like, do we want to start from, like, the beginning of the season or just, like, last episode? Because the final episode.
Give me the big beats. Give me the big beats.
Big beats? Okay, accidentally abducted best friend while trying to flee magic cops. And ended up, instead of going to France, ended up in London.
I was gonna say with new
From
best
New
friend,
York.
because
Yeah.
we both had to escape magic cups.
Yeah, with new best friend and other best friends.
Yeah.
And instead of taking a boat, we jumped straight into the ocean and landed in a carriage with the other two friends that we then became friends with, and some NPCs who also became friends.
Which for that, brandly new awakened mage Darcie was in New York, or not in New York, was in London with her mentor, and then through means of knowing other people was then asked to help escort two members of the Order of Reason to, leave, and we're gonna go meet them and pick them up in a carriage, and then had people magically fall in our laps. It was great, and then we were chased by some really epic NPCs and an epic carriage fight. It was great. Best opening ever.
Thank you. I was pretty pleased with the two.
For that. Yeah, then we kind of like were accused, or not accused of murder, but then, our names came up on some murder scenes. It was great. We were in trouble. Yeah, we were trying to solve murder.
There's been a bunch of fire.
A lot of
Marcy.
fire.
Is there? How many things have you guys burned down now?
So many.
It's in the wiki.
It's in the wiki.
Is it actually in the wiki? They actually made a...
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they made a
No,
page for all the things that we have burnt down.
They have an
Random
arson counter.
absolutely made
Yeah.
an arson count. Yeah.
Yeah, I will pull up. I'll go look and find
You
the
guys are
page and post it.
ridiculous that you have an arson counter.
I'm enjoying chat saying, dear God, My Little Pony was right. Friendship is magic. Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
And magic is fire, apparently.
And magic is
Yes.
fire.
Therefore, fire is friendship? Yes.
Ridiculous. So,
Therefore,
in the
friendship
meanwhile...
is arson.
So, what else happened
Friendship is
last season?
arson.
Book, whatever. Same, interchangeable words.
A whole bunch
Yeah.
of serial killer events like
What?
Jack the
In
Ripper
London?
style awful evilness.
Right.
With a very specific interest in our lovely group of friends, which we did not like as much, and a lot of misdirection, a lot of
Yep.
a lot more death, a guy who died but then had a clone of himself that hadn't fully
Wait.
finished cooking yet.
There was the whole Order of
Oh, yeah.
Reason stuff. That Josephine disappeared from for a little bit because seeking.
Yeah, that was fun. That was another cool. I'm just gonna constantly just repeat myself saying that was cool, that was cool, that was cool. But it was really, really cool. Kelly,
Was it cool?
Like
Mage is cool.
it was really cool. Or hot, I guess, because we're Team Arson, so it was pretty hot. We burnt down a lot of buildings.
No.
And
way.
not Josephine, Evelyn had some trauma with her husband. That was fun during that scene with at the mansion trophy
Turns out
building.
he is being now puppeted by the Order of Reason to try and bring her back in, or
Mm-hmm.
not so much bring her, but kind of what she stole, and maybe just off her at that time.
Yeah. Oh, and so much
So
ridiculous time magic.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so
she has
much
to
time.
kind of live with the whole, like, she probably has basically done what she's done has caused her husband to be basically like puppeted, like all free will taken away, all like he's probably getting punished in her place. She didn't really expect.
Yeah,
necessarily.
it's because you, Evelyn just doesn't care about anybody but herself.
Well,
Yeah, it turns out she's a
well.
little selfish, it seems like.
If it isn't the
Honestly, probably
consequences of
yes.
our own actions.
He started it.
That's true, he did. It was the misogyny, honestly. Yeah,
Yep,
that was
blame the
misogyny.
misogyny.
Misogyny
misogyny
leads you
started
to a
it.
slippery
The
slope of being
misogyny.
puppeted by overarching Big Brother type organizations.
Yep.
It wasn't his fault. It's just cultural, man. Like, he doesn't have any control over that. So anyway, besides railing against the patriarchy, what else did you guys get up to? That was pretty
Well, I
much
almost
it.
got
Darcie had a
unexisted
good
by
date,
time
or
uh,
not a good
spirit,
date.
fairy dog spirit thing.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was probably good
was
until
scary.
he started getting a little druggy
Possessive?
and
And
Yeah.
less good.
yeah.
Well, that's good. Don't
Unlike-
accept necklaces from the first date is what I've learned from this.
Was it a no pearl necklaces on the first date? Got it.
Yeah,
Don't do it. Don't do
because
it.
it might be an imposter. Like, you never know. It could be.
Might be an imposter trying to control you, and you willingly put on the device that can control you.
Mm-mm.
This is how paranoia develops.
Oh yeah.
Because it's not truly paranoia if they're actually out to get you. It just then becomes paranoia because eventually they are no longer out to get you because you've either killed them all or they've given up and just decided, screw it, go after somebody else for a change.
Mhm.
And then it becomes paranoia.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But prior to that, it was just healthy self-preservation.
Yeah. And then there was a fun bit of the Chas, Teddy, and Amelia poly
But
thing over there.
immediate-
Uh-huh.
immediate her.
Take sip.
And Teddy totally did not like. have
He's
a bad
fine.
day whatsoever.
That's
He's fine. He's totally fine. He can look after himself. He's fine. Guys, he's fine.
absolutely fine.
He's fine.
My, on the other hand, is a little dead. She's a
You're
little
what?
throats. What?
You're what?
What?
You're what's a little dead.
Oh, my. Yes,
My,
yes, I
my,
got it.
my. All right.
My goes bye.
So to give you kind of a point by point, basically what happened now that I fixed the logo is that I did it live, bitches. What basically happened is the characters all met up while a member of the Order of Reason was defecting. They all ended up crashing into the same carriage, getting on like basically a chase scene with the Order of Reason through the streets of London, managed to make it to a safe house that turned out to be haunted. After defeating people on the haunt, they were approached by some members of the Euthanatoi, a member of the Euthanatoi, who wanted to bring them in because they were connected to a murder, most foul that had been committed by, as we said before, a serial killer in the nature of Jack the Ripper, but grosser. The characters went to investigate that. Turned out that they were, in fact, included in this murder missive. Met an investigator by the name of Lord Macduff, who was another, well, he didn't actually say Euthanatoi or Verbena or whatever, working
No, he
onto
said
it.
nothing. He said nothing. That should have been
It's the easiest way to lie. So the characters went and investigated that, did a bunch of fun things, God, what happens? You went with Macduff, you discussed that, you ended up inheriting a box that gave you details from the future, that told you that you had to do a bunch of stuff to prevent it from falling into the
Inherit it.
technocracies.
I stole it.
That's true, you stole it, you're right. Inherited
There
it
was no
with your own
inheritance
hands. You went
Totally.
and...
I inherited it for myself. I determined my inheritance.
Well,
Selfish.
you did
Sorry.
that. You went and traveled to meet with the mentor of the man who was hologrammed out of the box, who told you that you needed to go meet with the mentor, only to find that the mentor had actually died, had been murdered, thus screwing up the timeline. You found that he had a secret lab, but the body had been pilfered, so you could not acquire the key to it. The body had been pilfered by resurrection men who had sold it to a mad scientist named Dr. Willie. You encountered Dr. Willie and all of her evil golem, which you totally killed, as well as her frankengoats and frankenchickens, which you also killed. After that, you went to a gentleman's club.
Very interesting.
To have a meeting with your husband, Evelyn, who you had left. While there, Josephine got left at the bar, had a seeking, and passed. You went, had an encounter with your husband that ended in tears. Then you returned to the house and prepared to leave for France. Before that, you had to go to that secret lab. You traveled to the Bridge Market, which is an under London Bridge market on the waters there, floating on barges. Learned a bunch of weird stuff, accidentally blew someone up when they were possessed by this serial killer devil guy. Then you went into a secret lab inside of London Bridge, where you met the dead Dr. Saxon, who you had been looking for this whole time, who had recloned himself in a body and was like 7 or 8 years old at that point. He told you about some manipulations in or some thing that was at the center of his research that he called the Leviathan, which is somehow connected to the devil. Then you went on a date with Macduff, Darcie. Turned out Macduff wasn't so much Macduff, which the other characters found out because when they went to check in on a baby that they had previously rescued from that first encounter with the devil, there's a lot that's happening. I'm leaving out a ton of stuff, but basically they went and met with that Euthanatoi. Turned out he's being mind controlled, and there was a letter from the real Macduff saying, "Hey, I'll be down to investigate stuff soon. I'm having a problem in Scotland." So the Macduff that you were out with wasn't the real Macduff, which you found out with as he tried to babyfy you, I think is.
Yeah, that's the word probably.
Babyfy.
Babyfy. Luckily, I had my familiar with me, at least as a chaperone, Bran.
Your familiar, yeah, which he promptly killed.
Yep.
But he got better.
Angry Bran, and then we went back to happy Bran.
Yep,
Okay.
back to happy Bran. The other characters managed to defeat the Euthanatory with some clever time magic shenanigans, and then collapsing half of the damn restaurant, and then from there, you all use correspondence magic to help rescue Darcie, only to have the entire house explode thanks to Josephine. A ton of bad things happen, and you opened a portal to Paris, and all of you made it through with the exception of your friend Teddy. And that is where game ended. So you're in France.
Yay.
So we saw London, and then we saw France.
Yes, and you saw that Chastity isn't wearing underpants. It doesn't help with time magic.
That.
I'm sure Teddy did, and I'm pretty sure Amelia did.
Or they never got the actual chance to. Who knows?
I don't
Stuff
know.
was pretty quick. It was like the same day.
There was a night.
Was there? Actually?
Yeah, there was a night between.
Yeah.
I think the opportunity could have arisen among with other things if you want. But that's honestly that's your call.
I'll think about it.
Think about whether or not the down was gotten. All right. So folks, as we're going into book 2, we have a bunch of questions from the audience that we're going to address. But first, I want to double check that I have everybody's lists here. Now, before every game that I run, I tend to have you all fill out like character surveys and little questionnaires so that I have all of your data up front. Now, I ask because we are going into a very taxing book. Season 2, book 2, whatever we want to call this, is not as long as book 1. At least, God, I hope it's not. Book 1 was 18 sessions long. I'm thinking this one is between
with
6
a
and
huge interruption in the middle because
Yeah, I mean,
with a slight flood and weakness, like
my life is
illnesses and
not
family.
boring. My life is not boring. Unfortunately.
there was tons of stuff. So a couple of things as we're going into book 2. Number 1, we're moving bi-weekly. So we're only running every other week in order to help fit into schedule. And because that's basically the schedule that we had going anyway. So why not just
being upfront about it?
Yeah, and then like sometimes it'll be a 1 week gap instead of a 2 week gap. Sometimes it'll be a 3 week gap. It depends on the weekend and what's there. I think it's a 2 week gap until sometime in I think we're bi-weekly until sometime in June or July. And then there's like a 3 week gap because of Father's Day, OPP Con, and a bunch of other stuff. But you'll be getting other onyxpath content during that weekend. So it'll be a lot of fun. I can't tell you about that though, because it's not been publicly announced. onyxpath Con is happening and Dork Tales is participating. I'll tell you that much. And it's near Father's Day. Very near. Jen and I are in the Dead Dad Club though, so we don't really care. Dead Dad Club. It's the best. We're the best. We're the cool kids.
We don't know that we ever really did much for either of those days. Honestly,
fair. So as we're going into that is important to know. The other thing is I want to do another safety check with everybody. I know that like when we started playing World of Darkness games, Jen and I, we've been playing them for the better part of this millennium. Wow, we can actually say that. That's kind of fun. But safety tools weren't a thing when we started playing. And in fact, if you're watching this and you like World of Darkness games, odds are they were not a part of your play style from the beginning as well. I mean, there was stuff in the books that basically was like, this game is just a game, don't actually bite people. If it was vampire, or do. We're not cops. Then again, we do live in a place where inside of the sanctioned Camarilla games, there was somebody who thought they were a vampire and did attack somebody. Yeah, that wasn't us. That was somebody that we don't even know these people. There's somebody who knows somebody, but still fun stuff. I think safety tools are really important in games that go kind of deep and dark like this. And I wouldn't have felt comfortable running the type of game that we ran last season without those safety tools in place. And with constantly checking in with you all. I know that because of the nature of this game, having a game that is set in a place where misogyny is pretty rampant and pretty standardized, I would not feel comfortable without your buy-in on that. And in fact, you all were the ones who were ramping up the misogyny, constantly telling me you wanted more, which I really do appreciate that. Because
You can only fight back against it if it's there.
Yeah.
That's true.
Exactly.
Satisfying to punch a bitch in the face if he's been a misogynistic bitch.
Exactly.
beforehand.
it's true.
Like really
Exactly.
strongly. So
You have
satisfying that
magic.
just- yes.
Magic
Yep.
him to death.
Oh yeah.
Rip his dick off.
All right. So
I'm pretty
that
sure Darcie tried to do that.
I'm pretty sure you totally did. You totally tried. So as we are moving forward, I want to reinforce those safety tools. Now, I also want to say that I'm going to ask some questions. You do not have to answer if you are not comfortable answering. You can always let me know later privately. Okay? So I'm not going to put anybody on the spot. I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to go, Amy, what's your deepest, darkest secret that I should never mention out loud on a public stream? I'm not going to ask you that. Unless you want to say it, then do it. I don't care. But
Well, I wouldn't make it a deepest, darkest secret then. Then it would be a deepest, darkest, everybody knows it.
Then I've healed you. I've cured you. It's therapy.
It's therapy.
I don't think that's how that works.
Okay,
But
so
I appreciate the sentiment.
going into this, I'm expecting this season to be between 6 and 8 episodes. And I expect it to be fairly psychologically intense. I want to know right off the bat, I'm going to ask you some questions, so I want you to start brainstorming about them and let me know. I'm going to ask you any phobias you have that you want to relay on camera, any lines or veils that you have, any content limits, which lines and veils basically cover that. I'm going to say the content is going to be R-rated with Twitch standards in mind, right? So I'll use limited descriptions rather than go super gritty. For gratuity's sake, you guys can fill in the gaps better than I can anyway. And it means that if somebody doesn't get what's actually happening, that's not my fault. I'm also going to ask what you want and anything about France in particular that you are interested in. Okay. So first off, does anybody have any phobias that I should avoid? Robin, I know right off the bat there's one that you don't mind me saying publicly, and that is tiny spiders.
Yeah, don't like tiny spiders on me.
How?
Can we on other people? I don't like it on me. You can have them big. You can have like
what is a big spider?
spiders.
So like, give me. I'm just gonna hold up my hands. What's a big spider?
Like dinner plate. Dinner plate.
Okay, so like a tarantula and up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So something that's easily squishable with your foot type thing.
So
it's not so
yes.
tiny you will miss
Yes.
Something that can't go into like you.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
That is it. That is it. That is the exact.
If it's going in somewhere,
Yeah.
like it would have to be your mouth, and you'd have to put it in there.
Yes.
In a similar vein, scarabs and that whole thing from the mummy definitely left us like its mark on my psyche. So please, nothing that burrows into flesh.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
love like a lot of stuff is stuff I don't love.
Okay, and burrowing flesh. Got ya. Fingernails and
Also
eyeballs. Are those on the? Are those off the table?
Yeah, that's generally my thing of like anything to do with like torture via fingernails is just gross, and eyeball stuff is gross.
Okay.
But otherwise,
Are you okay if it happens? It happens, but not deliberately. Not
if
deliberately.
it happens, but don't linger on the description.
I
Don't
generally
really
won't.
make me watch it happen in my own head type thing.
Can I ask a clarifying question, Robin? Does that when you're saying no tiny spiders? What about ants and other creepy crawlies that are small? Is it just spiders?
It's just spiders.
Okay.
I have the scene from, if anyone knows, the Brothers Grimm. I don't know why, but it's like there's a scene where tiny spiders come out of a horse's mouth, encase a girl in web, and then the horse eats the girl. And that is forever scarred into my brain because I love horses and the spiders. It's just like, it's like a big scarring scene to me. And I haven't been able to watch movies since, and I was a kid, and it's like it's probably not as bad as I remember, but because of it, I hate tiny spiders from that movie. So
fair.
it's literally just spiders. You can have ants, you can have like crickets, cockroaches. Just not spiders.
Ants.
If on the bugs thing, like I generally prefer not like lice or fleas type descriptions, because that will make me itch, because I have experienced that with past places I've lived with cats and whatnot. Like having a flea infestation, which is gross, and the idea of it will haunt me.
Okay, so with that said, how are people with? So I know you just said this, but I'm gonna double check. So you're not okay with things like fleas, lice, and because we're in Victorian London, or we're in Victorian Paris, so
Just
like
don't get into what I'm saying is don't get into the like loving descriptions of how it's jumping off your skin or you feel it crawling. Like, don't do that, because then I am going
I'll
to
agree
be
with
like
that.
feeling like I'm hunting for fleas for the rest of the night.
But if I say something like your skin is itchy from lying on a lice-infested mattress or something like that, or flea, like you have flea bites on your leg or something like that, like
that's
casual.
description. Like I have spent my whole degree reading papers on Victorian London and talks about fleas and lice in their beards. And
I'm honestly
hairs.
also fine with descriptions. I just, since it's already been mentioned, I'll just jump on that and say, yeah, sure. Please don't do that.
No, totally.
But it's not a
all
huge,
right.
it's not a huge thing for me.
I would just prefer not to really get a detailed, loving description of how it's jumping off of you and you feel it and all this.
Well, so it's
stuff,
like it's the focus, right, that bothers you. It's how close the camera is. It's the distance. Okay. Does anybody have any other things that they don't want to have happen? Now, obviously, we don't deal with sexual assault because that's boring. And the times where we touch on anything of that nature, it's generally like pre-approved and discussed in advance for comfort's sake, and the audience is warned when there's any rate of that. As unfortunately, those type of pressury situations do kind of happen especially in the Victorian era, especially everywhere, but you know.
Well, and the end of, maybe not, it was the penultimate game, not quite the last episode. That very close situation happened with Darcie, but Kelly had already pre-told me about what's happened and asked if it's okay if Darcie wakes up naked, and I'm like, yeah. He's like, nothing's gonna happen to her. You're gonna have a chance to fight back, kind of thing. And it's like, cool. As long as I know what's coming, I'm great. Thank you for letting me and asking me about the comfort of Darcie. Yeah. So it was one of those things where it was like, yeah, I knew it was coming, and it didn't wreck the impact. Like, knowing what was happening and what was gonna be like ominously floating in the air of what might have happened didn't ruin the impact of the scene that Kelly had. So knowing didn't make it it didn't lessen the effect at all. It was great.
For those of you who don't use safety procedures at home, or who don't think that safety procedures are useful, I just want to say that one of the biggest reflexive reactions to discussions about safety is that it'll dampen the impact. I guarantee that if you talk about things in advance, you don't have to spell every detail, but you have to say like, hey, how do you feel about your character being mugged, your character being stolen from, any of this in advance, like something that, especially if you know somebody might have a traumatic history with it. For like I've been robbed in real life, and it's not my favorite. But if somebody knew that about me, then it would be probably good to check in. Much like it is good to check in with any female presenting or identifying person about themes of sexualized violence, sexism, anything like that, right? Like, 'cause these are,
since springing it on a player for their character, and not, especially if it's in a sense where you can't fight back, you are essentially committing it against that player at that point. Because you are forcing them into a helpless position.
And what you're going to do in that case, you're going to have the player ball up. They're going to curl up like a turtle, because they're going to get defensive. They're going to get reflexively defensive of this because they got blindsided. But if you let them know in advance, they can lean into it and make it more dramatic, because then it's performance, right? You know, and then it's also let them fill in the gaps if they're a character. And
at that point, I consented to you doing that to my character. I've consented to be in that scene, so it takes the attack angle out of it. for the players. So
And I will always warn the chat in situations where that is implied or anything like that. I'll also never show it. I'll just imply it. And I'll never hover a camera on something like that unless it's about to get stopped. First of all, because that's the point. And also animal abuse. I generally, especially like domesticated animals, particularly, I will warn if it's anything traumatic.
that's my other one is needless cruelty to animals.
Yeah,
Is
totally.
definitely something I don't enjoy, which Jojo really pissed me off this afternoon.
Yeah, there's
I've
a
been
lot
catching
of
up on Jojo, and there's a lot of dogs that they hurt and kill just to show the character is evil. And I'm like, that was gratuitous. You're blurring out all these other parts of it because it's creepy, but you just show that?
Yeah,
That's
it's
some of
wholly
dogs being hurt in
unnecessary.
okay. So that is that. So what other lines or veils do we have? So lines are hard lines. Veils are kind of, you know. Anybody have any ones that they want to talk about? Anyone have anything?
Other than the like general like ganging up or like this is more of like a session 0 than like an actual like start to a game because we're already like an established-ish party kind of thing. But
yeah, you don't like inter-party bullying.
Yeah, I don't
And
like
neither do
being
I. That's
ganged
one of my
up on
things.
and feeling like I'm unwanted and everyone's up against Darcie. Like also inter-party conflict can be happen. Like that's totally fine. I just don't want everyone to hate me at the same time. You can hate me at different times. That's fine. All at once, no. that's not my jam.
All right. So
yeah, I
anybody
mean,
else?
like I'm good with like inter-character conflict if it's like we've talked about it and like we both know that's going on. It's like I might not understand why your character is angry with mine, but I can accept that and lean into it. Okay, let's ramp it up. That could be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's the performance aspect of it, right? So, okay, if we're done with lines and veils for the most part, and feel free to pop in. I also want to say that some safety tools real quick because we're on a stream. Obviously, my attention is divided all over the place. And when you're running this type of game, having a safety tool like an X card in place, an X card, for those who don't know, is a piece of paper with an X on it. When when you opt out of something, you tap it, and then the scene pivots. That's it. It's a real basic thing. Because we're all doing this remotely, what I would like you to do, we have a private chat running full time. I would like you to leave 3 X's, 2 to 3 X's. So basically, so long as it's going on multiple lines, anything like that, just so that I know it's not a typo. If I don't notice it in about 10 or 15 seconds, one person can just say, Kelly, can you check the chat? It does not have to be the person. It was the first person who wants to interject. Okay. For other streaming situations, I would suggest there be like a designated ombuds person for that, who basically is the direct you to the chat so that nobody is, sometimes you can feel like you're the one like dampening fun. If you call attention to not wanting to continue a certain thing, that's not the way it works. It's everybody's comfort is everybody's comfort. So, but I understand that like broadcasting, nobody wants to feel like a stick in the mud. So it's good to have that role kind of shift around a bit. So anyway, that's what we are going to use there. Also, hi Dice Legends, good to have you rating.
Hello.
As we're going there, we got our terms of service, we got our content. France, what do we want to do with France, folks? What do you want? What do you want to get out of France? You want food? You want food descriptions?
Food. Yes.
I honestly don't even know. Like I don't know this time period in France.
Yeah.
I don't know it that well either, and I've only got 2 weeks to prep. So everybody do me a favor, and in our Discord at !Discord right now, or in the comment or in the show notes if you're watching this on YouTube, please send me all of the info regarding Victorian age France. We're in the 1890s right now. I know the Eiffel Tower is built, and Marie Curie is still alive, which was a real pain in the ass for Christine Seeking because I built the entire thing around Marie Curie.
Can we talk about those soon?
We'll talk about your seekings right after your wants. Okay,
Yeah.
so food, history. I gotta ask right off the bat, how deep of a cut do you want? Because we have already had the mages show up. We've already had Nefandi show up or Nefandi adjacent things. Do you just want the full mage experience?
Why is that even a question?
Always.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I want whatever
Oh,
you need
man.
to advance what story you've had in your head. I'm just here to explore your story. That's it.
Okay. I'm sorry.
I've
then.
always had
Yeah.
a good time with your stories.
I think I just
so-
watched Kelly's brain come up with something.
Yeah.
No, I was just like, okay, cool. So long as everybody's on this.
Suddenly it was like the gates opened to the amusement like park. Kelly like,
No.
okay, cool, we can enter.
Okay, fine. You want to know what it actually was? Do you want to know what it actually was? You guys said
Yes.
that, and I took off the ankle weights. I did a Rock Lee in my head. I'm like, okay. For those who don't know that scene, go look it up. Big cloud of smoke. One of the most pivotal anime moments of my young adult life.
Oh man, the chat is suggesting
Burning down Versailles.
plus Team Arson.
I grew up near a town in Missouri called Versailles, spelled the same way.
Yep.
So
I know,
it was
right?
probably
That's
Versailles,
very
and then
common.
They,
That's
then
very
they
common.
Americanized it. Yeah.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
I have seen Versailles. It is lovely.
You know what?
I want to
It'd be
see
hilarious to
Versailles.
burn it.
I haven't been as an adult. That's
I've been
for
to
damn sure.
Paris. I've been to Paris.
In
but I
springtime?
haven't seen anything else
I
in
mean,
France.
I went when I was
Some-
17, so yeah.
Yeah. So cool. Prepare for trauma.
Yay!
Always. I'm
cool.
always prepared. I'm just traumatized.
Here's the deal. Okay, so I'm going to leave that open. So I've got for France, food, history, and mage.
Yeah.
Raise your hand if your character is buying. So what? Buying French as a language costs 2 experience points. I'm allowing you to buy it as 1 experience point to have basic understanding of French, but be bad at it.
I bought
Okay.
it at 2.
I
Okay,
bought it
raise
too
your.
as well.
Who
I'll
bought it at 2?
Probably get it at 2.
Yay! Language.
I'm
It's-
probably gonna buy it at 2. I have to figure out what I'm spending XP on because I have a lot of it.
Also, I
figured
realized
since-
I forgot to mention. I read the language thing, and I've spent the experience. Because I realized I said Darcie also knows old Irish, and I didn't have the language merit bought for that, so I've added that experience on to make it a 2-point merit. Because I realized Darcie. I've said that she's been able to speak Old Gaelic and Old Irish, so I'm like, oops, I should have probably put
So
my
I bought
language, put my X
German.
where my mouth is.
Initially for my build as the language merit for Evelyn and said that she spoke English. But in my survey, I had said that she probably spoke French because she grew up in like close to Montreal area in like Canada, in very near areas that are still heavily French speaking because Britain and France kind of had a tug of war over them. So there was a lot of French people there. So I figured she grew up speaking both. So that's why I went for the full buy of the merit.
Do it. Now, that said, I gotta warn you guys, I can do a lot of accents. Some of them even well. French is my worst accent out of all my accents. And we're going to France. So prepare yourself for a lot of sounding like I am Lumiere. All right. Like that's basically, I do my Lumiere voice and that's about it. So
That's fine.
That's fine.
I'm going to look up a bunch of phrases and words and stuff because I'm actually good at French pronunciation for the most part.
I mean, you can
Really
always
well.
just
Cool.
say,
Well,
you
it's
can
really
always
cool.
just like work on like just doing like your like
I would
voices
just,
of like different like men, older people, younger people, and then like just say in a French accent, and
I would say in the
we
French
understand.
accent, it would be Frenchception. It is Frenchception. And for reference, it is an unspecified year after 1895. So any event that occurs between 1895 and 1900 is eligible because time is weird. And you know what? I forgot to mention something earlier that I need to mention right now because people are buying things. So we got France, We got those events. What do people want out of this one? So I need to, let's do show of hands if you want romance. Nobody wants to get laid. Okay, cool.
I think Darcie has had it with men for a bit. Just saying.
I didn't say it had to be with men. I saw your weights drop. Dun, dun.
Okay, give me a hot French woman. Give me a hot French woman, or a non-binary. I don't think Darcie's doing men right now.
I think Evelyn would be into being flirted with. I don't know that she'd take it any further than that because of all the shit that just went down with her husband, and that she is still married.
I will say that Josephine isn't terribly interested in it. I would be fine if you would like present opportunities and we'd see what happens, but she's not particularly interested. And everyone else is romance traumatized.
Yeah, Chastity's doing great. She's gonna have to have
Evelyn's
talks
fine with
with
being
Amelia
flirted with
about
by either
things
as well.
Okay.
The spectrum.
I just feel like unless somebody is very particularly blunt with her, she is not going to notice.
Would you like a bit of the
Also-
old in and out?
What now?
Would you like to fornicate with me, ma chérie? Would you like to copulate?
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi?
moi.
C'est ça.
Okay, if you came out with me with that line, maybe.
God. It's just you and McGregor showing up at the Moulin Rouge. Oh shit, this is the same time as the Moulin Rouge, isn't it? I get to watch Moulin Rouge.
No.
Is it?
Yes.
Someone
Oh, let's see. Let's look up the Moulin Rouge.
look up Moulin Rouge.
Not the movie, but also yes, the movie.
Oh, look up.
But yes.
We can't be
I would-
lovers. We can't do that. Yeah. that-
But yeah, no, I would be down for some light, like flirtation type stuff to kind of help Evelyn develop in different ways, like socially as a character.
Totally.
So, like, even if she doesn't take it up on it or is confused by it at first or anything like that, like, I think that would kind of. Yeah, that would
Okay,
be
so
interesting.
Moulin Rouge
Something
was
fun to RP with.
1889.
And it was originally destroyed in 1915. So
Oh,
we
Moulin
are
Rouge is here.
right-
Oh
we're-
god, T.
we're
Marston's
right,
gonna
like-
destroy it.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
Can we really go to the Moulin Rouge without Teddy?
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
yes, it would be in his memory. I mean, I think
Yeah,
he
we
would
need
find
to
it
know
when
what
he
he's
does
doing.
go.
This is where we get the romance.
If you
See,
if you
I
if you
think
do
he
enough
would
stuff
be
in the
like,
Moulin Rouge, you
"What
could
the hell?"
summon him.
You had a chance to go to the Moulin Rouge and you didn't because I wasn't there? I mean,
Yeah,
flattered,
Teddy would
but
be mad at you.
what the hell's wrong with
He'd
you?
be
I know,
mad
he'd
at
be
you.
so
Yeah,
upset.
exactly.
As Leah said, yeah.
That's so good.
It still hurts me
It's so
personally to
good.
think about it, though.
With Palace of
1889.
Women.
I
Oh,
love
it's
it.
good. It would be so good for us, man. Oh, I want to go now. Definitely.
In
Moulin
real life,
Rouge.
I don't think we can, Robin. I think it's gone.
No, you can still buy tickets to it.
To the Moulin. What? Really?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
125 euros to 285 euros, but they rebuilt it
Moulin
after it
Rouge
burned
is-
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cabaret show. Yeah.
I've been.
Yeah,
Oh.
I
Ooh.
followed the day in the life of a Moulin Rouge dancer on TikTok.
I know
Oh, nice.
nothing about Moulin Rouge, apparently.
Yeah,
Okay,
dinner
so,
the show
uh,
is
Institute Don't
231.
disappear.
Yeah.
All right. So, flirting okay, Moulin Rouge. What else do you want? I got 8 episodes to ruin you. I'm going to ignore a lot of these things because I already know what the plot is.
I
But
would like some
I
opportunity.
want to know what I don't know what
potentially,
you want, so I can be sad to you.
Mm.
Develop like the way Evelyn does magic and stuff. I want to get
Yeah, I
my
would
science
like
on.
Darcie to meet some French witches. I think that'd be good for her.
French. Can I ask everybody, how do you feel about non-traditional narrative structure?
Sure.
Cool.
I
All
got
right.
it.
So,
Love it.
What does
that
that mean?
means-
What? Yeah.
a normal story goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I may tell this story at 5, 3, 2, 1, 4.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
It will be like touchstoned, so it won't be like, you know, I will definitely bookmark it with like 2 weeks earlier, or it'll be obvious.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. That's fine.
You won't Westworld us.
Dude, I love Westworld for that though. Oh my god, I love Westworld for that.
But you
Season
really
1 of
need the visuals for it.
I don't want to spoil anybody for Westworld, so if you haven't watched season 1, it's been out for 10 years now. So, minor spoiler for season 1 of Westworld that I'm going to say over the next 10 seconds. Ready? Season 1 of Westworld is non-linear, and they don't tell you when it's non-linear. You have to look for details in the background, like the logo changing.
And even then, you don't always notice until the scene abruptly changes with somebody waking up from it. And it's clear that it was a flashback type thing.
Or
It's
it's
like,
not
wait,
even
what?
always clear. It's not clear until
No.
you finally like understand what is like. You have to watch it once, and then afterwards you're like, oh yeah, that was okay. Because if I say anything else, it's a spoiler, like a big spoiler. So I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
That's a very mild spoiler.
But yeah, I would like to get my science on, and I would like to work on the whole sort of thing of like, I think we talked about putting together like pre-done like magical effects in like potions and crap.
Okay. Did you buy
So-
Prime 2?
I did.
Okay, you can make-
too.
Yeah, you can make charms now. I should-
And
on the
that would
bookshelf
be a
behind
fun
you.
chance.
Is Forged by Dragon's Fire. You should give it a read.
That might be a fun chance to actually RP with Vivian.
Vivian. Vivian? Is it does the pronunciation change at all now? Is there a difference in the pronunciation between the male and female Vivian?
Not really, I don't think. It just
think it's
depends on if you're French or not.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably like Vivian versus Vivienne for like
That-
English and French pronunciation. I don't think
Yeah.
it's necessarily male and female.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because
from
in
my
English,
understanding.
the male name generally is the French pronunciation. The Vivienne. That's
Trash
generally
is
the
recent.
one that's used
So it's
male
clean.
in
Oh, okay.
English.
Trash is new. Okay, what else do y'all want? So you want to make some charms with Vivian? Chastity, you've got drama.
Well, I was half thinking like to lean into maybe her celestial chorus side of things because she's, things have been rough. Maybe she'll go and visit the Notre Dame, but it doesn't have to. It's not like it's like a passing thought of like, But it's not.
Okay, do
the
you
way
want a
she
hunchback?
handles it, so.
I know it's
no.
a couple hundred years later, but like, could be the
Yeah,
same guy.
no.
You never know. I mean, it could be a Nosferatu.
I mean, even if it's just like going past, like maybe just like interacting with something, they're just like, because it is a different way of dealing with, because she's not Catholic, so it's not that crucial.
Okay,
But I'm just
cool,
like, I
cool,
guess
cool.
that's there.
All right. Anything else you guys want to touch on?
I mean, I kind of want to, and I might need help with this. But like, I need to figure out where Josie's going from here because I think she's feeling a little lost. She's like had this whole goal, and now it's kind of like, okay, this is never going to fucking happen.
Mhm.
What else am I doing here? She doesn't want to leave, but she's also just not sure what she's doing. So I'm not sure
Fair.
what she's doing. That's both of those
Fair.
things are true.
So
Figure out what
Josie needs to
she's
find Persis. Purpose.
porpoise.
Train
Purpose,
your
yeah.
train. You have to train your kraken. You got to raise the baby kraken. Our familiars can be friends.
Oh, also, if anybody wants to buy up any backgrounds with approval, you can. It's 3 times current rating.
Yeah.
Also, we
Or
found
you
more
take
books
away-
where it
Take away our.
explains-
You take away my
What?
backgrounds.
I'll let you reallocate them.
I know, but I didn't have to. So I didn't have to buy them. I was thinking like either you have to pay 3 times the background, or just get them reallocated by you taking away. It was great.
Yeah.
Bran is better. Bran is gonna have more personality.
Ah, and more Scottish. Josephine,
Yes.
find purpose. All right, what else? Anything else? Or should we start answering a little bit of... You know what? Let's talk really quickly about seekings. How are your seekings? So Josephine's was a while ago.
Good.
Mine was great. We all know that.
Yeah. It's on YouTube right now if you want to go listen to it.
And so is Evelyn's.
And Darcie just needs to be edited because I did it about 4 hours ago.
Yeah, Darcie did a seeking too. It was so much fun.
And Chastity, I actually have yours plotted, or at least part of it. And I don't know if I can broadcast it.
Okay, good to know.
It's real
kids.
dirty. It's real dirty. And
All right, so it might have to be off the books.
I was gonna say it could be a
Or
Patreon.
heavily edited.
You have to put it on page because I think you can put.
I can definitely do it on just Patreon. But
Yeah.
it's definitely,
Or, I mean,
it's
if it's just
oof burger.
If it's just an audio file, you don't have to broadcast it. You could just put it on Discord
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I could.
and share it that way
but
so people can choose to listen to it.
Yeah.
It's definitely salacious random. So if you want that anytime in this chapter, let me know.
Yeah, when it makes the most sense.
So you want more
We'll figure
chorus
it out.
stuff though. Cool.
Yeah, I could lean into it because it went very heavy one way, and I feel like as a character, I think she's kind of been doing a pendulum thing between the things she's being pulled between. So
Fair.
Yeah, I actually just hearing you talk about that, I wouldn't mind some like more Order of Hermes stuff if you don't have any planned for like later kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've got some big stuff planned in a couple of books, but in the meanwhile, I definitely want to have some stuff before that.
Cool.
It's really funny because like the book lengths, like book 1 is like 18 episodes. It was supposed to be 12. Got bloated because of life.
Yeah.
Book 2 is like 6 to 8 episodes. And then book 3 is like 4 or 5 episodes long. It's like just a movie.
You're doing like a Netflix thing, eh? Where you're just like it's sometimes Netflix shows. I find like Netflix shows sometimes they just like keep going smaller and smaller, and it's just like, you know what? I think it's great that you get to choose your own like plotting. You don't have to fit in within like a certain amount of time, so you don't have to have like filler episodes. You just need to get your shit out and make it impactful.
What he's doing is taking book 1 was classic Victorian literature, goes on for fucking ever. Even longer than you want it to.
Book 4 is going to
And-
be the Guy Ritchie directed version. All right,
And
then.
now you're moving
We
through
fucking
time and you're
mooks.
like, yes, let's
You want to head down to the old Clippity Clot for a bit of the old bingy bang? What?
Sorry, can you say that in English?
Can't say that in English. It is fucking English, you mook. Listen to me. No, Tommy, let me speak. Let me speak. Bit of the old Roger Cornwall, eh? Yeah, a little bit of the hokey pokey. Don't have a pint at the old gecko, yeah?
I have no idea what's happening. None of this
I
makes
don't
any sense
either.
to me.
I'm just making faces.
I'm just making faces and saying words. All right, gotcha.
just saying words and sounding like a right mook, like good old duck. All right, so your seekings went well. Chastity, yours is ready whenever you want it. Basically, just pay for it and prepare to fail.
I already did. It's
Did you
just
pay
for
for it?
whenever it happens? Yeah, I did.
Oh,
A
okay.
couple episodes ago. Yeah, so it's basically just
Sure.
whenever it is the most fitting. I just didn't want to do it right on the back of like when everyone else is doing it. I want to give it a bit of like breathing room.
That's fair.
I think she's had enough stuff going on that she's not ready to do that introspection yet.
All right, that sounds good. All right, I
But it
look
was
forward to doing
fun.
that.
I had my
Yeah.
my first one literally hours ago, and it was great.
Yeah, I think
you're
Amy's
about to have
had
your second
2
one
or
very
3 of
shortly
them.
in a couple of weeks.
Oh, right.
If we can
Yes,
book
yes,
time.
yes, yes. Yes, that's right.
I look forward to
Right.
failing mine,
Sure.
or having my character with Arete 4 or Enlightenment 4 on Noah or
I-
Nolan.
I
Which is just,
know I know where I'm going with yours versus where I'm going with Robin's. I still have to figure that out. I have like 8 ideas for Robin, and I'm like, what do I choose?
It's weird, right? Because like when you listen to when I get Darcie's up, I actually had an easier time plotting Darcie's than I did with Evelyn's, because Evelyn's I had an idea for it, and then like 6 months passed and I forgot my idea, which never happens to me. Like I always remember stuff until I write it down. And then this one time I forgot it. I'm like, fuck. And then I came up with stuff, but it's science-based. And it was so much easier coming up with something for a verbena than for someone who looks at the world through a lens of science. So especially in the Victorian era, if it were like modern, I could like do anyways. I look forward to doing it again.
And I have to do technocratic ones, which is, they're called mediations, not seekings.
Are they called they changed that, huh? Ooh, wow.
It's somewhere where I've looked through like 8 books today.
That's fair.
In one of them, it mentions that they tend, I think it's M20, they tend to call it mediation instead.
Just having mediation with your avatar. Yeah, come on in. We're gonna have a talk with your emotional supervisor, your spiritual supervisor.
Right.
Get out the note metronome.
Oh, that's my focus. That's my focus.
I know.
Man. I forgot I had that sound effect. Okay, so some questions. Question 1, quick summary of what happened in book 1. Did that. Question 2, how did you players feel your characters had grown throughout book 1, and was there anything that surprised them? So yeah, Teddy was surprised that he didn't make it to book 2.
I bet he was.
I think Amelia was surprised that she got abducted.
I'm surprised at how dense Josephine was about learning how to, not be blatant with magic.
You learned
think-
what
I think-
paradox was.
I think with book 2, she'll have gotten there. Because I kept trying for her to be like not as ridiculous, and then we were like thrown into the last episode, and I was like, well, now is not the time to be subtle. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think I was surprised at Darcie's kind of growth. It was slow and then really fast, so that was fun. Darcie kind of was generally learning as Robin was learning, and there was those kind of things, but then I was kind of getting the hang of it, and it's like, okay, there's some character stuff happening, but she's still new, and shit happened, and now Darcie is a different person, which is definitely reflected into her character sheet now.
Anybody else?
I'm a little surprised at how well Evelyn rolled with shit. And how kind of okay she was with going from being very like proper socially to very not. Because like she got into a lot of situations that would have not been okay in the slightest prior. And yeah, got very good at just being like, fine, I'm gonna show my irritation. You know what? Fuck you. Type thing. It's like, wait, how did her very kind of, well, now we should really be more careful about things type attitude and voice turn into that? And it very much just happened each time.
It's been beautiful to see, honestly.
It's been kind of fun.
Nice.
Trying to think about what Chastity is. I'm surprised if there's anything that really surprised Chastity. I
I
think
like that so far nobody thinks that the academic is the one who wrote the books.
So I don't know. Chastity kind of went from being like actually I didn't even know where I was gonna start with her. Like split between two traditions to very much like I said, like kind of swinging back and forth. I kind of thought she was going to be more balanced at first, but nope, clearly not. And a little more vicious than I was expecting her to be in some of her behavior and handling of things, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, anybody else have anything for this, or should we hop on to the next question? Which is, what was your favorite part of book 1? Your favorite moment?
Oh God, there's so many. Like everything from the seance, which was wild.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
The
Yeah, that was
seance was great.
Honestly,
I
the
love the
first scene
description
we were
of
all
them.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
seance
Oh,
honestly,
the carriage?
books. Yeah.
Though I think my favorite scene was Chastity's introduction with Teddy.
That
Yep.
was really fun.
You guys just all of a sudden just clicked instantly into character between the two, you and Kelly, and you just rolled with it so smoothly, and it was just like, what the hell is this character? Holy shit. Like, I think your introduction was probably the best one.
Oh, thank
Just
you.
personally. It was incredibly entertaining.
Oh. I think all of book 1 or all of game 1 was probably my highlight moment. Just because it was so it's like one of the best actual play episodes like on YouTube. Like I honestly think that. Like it's just, you guys are all amazing. If I wish the audio quality could have been a little bit better, but you're still learning to balance things on that. I wish we had the new art for it. Like there's so many little things that I wish we could do, like a director's cut or remaster. But like as it is, with our limitations, God damn, it was good. Like it was really good.
Like that first episode was great. The looking back on it now, of course, I enjoy even more the moment where Darcie kicked McDuff in the balls.
McDuff? Oh, yeah, I know. It's so
I was
good.
so
Oh.
pissed about that. I was like, you son of a bitch. How dare you almost kill the antagonist right out of the back.
Oh, I forgot
so
about that.
close.
I did like
But now
9
looking
points
back
of-
on it, it's even
Oh.
better. And it's just
Oh, it's
like
so good.
in the moment it was so funny. But
How
now it's
It was
even
dare.
better.
hilarious, and it really like that. I guess that surprised me was the flirtation and relationship kind of thing with McDuff, was because Darcie initially did it because she was so apologetic for kicking him in the face by accident, that then suddenly she was like getting all friendly because she's just like, oh my god, I kicked a lord in the face, and then he ended up using her, so that was fun. But yeah, that's hilarious.
it was
Now
the
going
face.
back to
But
So I think one of my favorite moments was the conversation I think it was at a breakfast or something, when Bran was talking and Amelia learned about magic and we tried to explain it to her, and it just like, it was so unhinged and just like,
Meow.
Honestly, anytime
can't just
Bran
say
talked,
meow.
anytime Bran
Meow.
talked.
It was great.
Oh, but the other one was the graveyard scene, digging up the body, and like Chas and Josephine going off, and Josephine smacking Chas in the head with a shovel by accident. Like that entire scene was just a mess.
Beautiful. mess.
There was the Crystal Palace, and then Josephine literally telling a demon to like fuck off and go back
Oh, yeah.
home.
That was good.
It's so good.
This has been a good
Sit
chronicle so far. This has been fun.
Mhm.
Sit down. Yeah, it was really great. So it's hard. All of it.
Good.
All of it was great.
For Kelly, what was your original vision for book 1? How did that change or evolve over the last couple of years? Oh man, I don't know. How did it change? I was keeping the plot really pretty loose in my head, because I'm thinking of plot points that are going to happen in like book 4 and 5. Right? Like I have this whole like, oh, do I do like an opening of Temple of Doom thing in Hong Kong? Do I do like, I've got so many different ideas around in my head. The original idea, I think it took a lot longer to get to the point. And the one thing that definitely I was hoisted by my own petard. I don't know if that's applicable in this case, but I definitely the box was not as big of a thing in the initial concept. In fact, it wasn't really much of a thing at all until I decided, oh, that'd be a really fun like little twist / Easter egg, and then I realized the ramifications completely changed everything about what I had to do after that moment, and I'm like, oh, son of a bitch. Oh, why did I do the box? So there's that.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? The future. The future's in the
Paradox.
box.
A little glowing green, a little glowing blue man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Paradox is in the box. It just that's
The chat is wondering if I do the Indiana Jones thing that I have to wear a fedora and snap a whip, which once again I will direct you to the Dork Tales OnlyFans.
Coming soon.
You will be with a whip and a fedora. Anyway, I've got the fedora.
It's really
I should get a whip. I'm
it's
going on
really
Amazon
funny
right now and buying a whip.
I mean, it's really funny because I was watching the guy on TikTok who Jags the Whipper.
Oh God,
I love him.
I was literally sending them to Trizalta earlier because it was just hilarious.
Man, whips is expensive.
Yeah. I can get you no, I don't have a riding
Actually, no,
crop.
that's
I
only
was trying to find
$35.
it for chat. I was trying to find one for Amy because I have a couple riding crops from, horse riding as a kid, not the other use, but horse riding. But I couldn't find any. I was gonna get
We just have to buy one.
Amy. You just have to buy one.
Indiana Jones is brown, right? It's not black.
Yes, it's brown.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Indiana Jones style bullwhip. Got it. Buying now. By the way, folks, to support tomfoolery like this,
my
go to
God.
patreon.com/dorktales.
Glad
Maybe
we
also-
have healthcare.
Go on there and get like
Safety
goggles or like a face mask. before you play with it.
I grew up using bullwhips. It's fine. I also grew up juggling hatchets and doing other stupid shit. I still have all my fingers.
And you were lucky then.
Well, you just don't catch the sharp part. It's easy. It's like, it's you don't do the thing and then bad things don't happen.
As someone who throws knives and axes, yeah, that's fair.
Right? Jen agrees with me. I must be right.
Oh my
You're
God.
not sitting there juggling them though. You're throwing
But
them
I can't
away
throw the
from you.
regular things.
To be fair, the hatchets aren't that sharp when you're doing it. Like you're not using
Amy calling out Amelia in the chat.
Yeah.
Called you out.
Nice. It's not like you sharpen the axes to cutting off limbs points and like and
Yeah,
then
you gotta-
juggle with them. You even
That's
even
fair.
thrown axes aren't sharp.
That's
if
fair.
you-
Whips are freaking dangerous though if you don't know
Yes,
how to use
no,
them
no,
properly.
Yes.
No, my ex cracked one of his teeth. Kelly, you know the one. By using a bullwhip wrong, like poorly, in his apartment hallway.
in his apartment hallway. See, the
Oh,
trick about a
yeah.
bullwhip is you stay behind it.
Yeah.
God. It's only an
He
hour.
was
I remember-
smart. He was not bright.
Playing with bull kelp at the beach, and that was bad enough when I'd hit myself with that.
I also just bought, I will say, when I was a teenager, I did have a set of wooden nunchucks, and I did nunchuck myself once, right in the back of the head, and I was like 16.
I was gonna say you nunchucked your nuts.
Oh yeah, well yeah, but not as hard. No, I was really like, I was doing some nunchuck practice, and I was like, I went and I was trying to do like a back catch, and instead I cranked myself right in the back of the skull and immediately just fell over on my bed and stared at the ceiling for 10 minutes and contemplated my life because I was like,
Oh my God.
That sounds like a concussion.
it what? I'm like, I don't know, maybe
My little baby concussion.
little baby concussion.
It's just the baby.
It's just a baby, just a baby bump. But I mean, being a teenage boy is all about hurting yourself, basically. Like you're mostly invincible till you're like 23, and then it's just all downhill. And it does, and the hits stop coming, and they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming. Maybe I should get those eyeglasses.
Yes. I have extra pair of safety glasses if you need them.
I mean, I've got safety glasses. It's fine. But
I was just thinking one of those face masks that has the padding around it so it protects all like the breakable
Mm.
parts of your face.
yeah. let's see what else we got here. So anybody, so other that's my plan. How did my planner evolve or change? It had to get juggled around a lot because of life stuff, basically. The flood definitely made some changes there. All right, number 5, will Amelia awaken, become a mage in her? Why do you guys want that so hard? Like,
So I don't want her to awaken. I would like her to either stay completely like as like a sleepwalker or just as like a supporting believer, like that kind of thing. I actually really don't want that for her.
Yeah, the chat really wants that. I also think like I see much more potential plot with her still being regular and like
mundane sleeper.
Yeah, I think like it's cool. Like she rolled with the punches really well.
Yeah,
like it's great.
And sometimes it's hilarious that she did better than the mages did, while not being even remotely magical. Like I love that. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Like having more like I'm cutting down my number of mages. Like we were at like we had a bunch of NPCs and now we're having less all the time.
Well, I mean that's part of it, right? It's just that another mage, another awakened character is just more for you to have to like deal with when role playing and figuring out what they can do and stuff like that until you take them out.
Which is just going to turn out to be a werewolf, is what it is. But like I don't mind mixing splats. Little spoiler, but like I offered to, it's not really a spoiler, but I offered Robin that if she wanted to keep her points of mentor in I could have her come back as a ghost. I was like, I'll let you buy like ghost mentor. It's a merit. Like she'll just be a ghost who walks around being Irish. I would allow that, but she's like, nah, I don't really want it. Which I approve.
I think this is going to be much better for Darcie's character. I think Darcie, and you'll hear it at the Seeking, but there's Mai was a good influence, but there's also some things that Mai hampered Darcie on. So I think it's a good thing that she's lost it because it's pushed her. It's pushed her to go into a different direction. I'm really liking what's come out of this, and I think she had to struggle and lose someone really close that she knew other than that, and also just the reveal with her mother and father at the end of the game. Oh my god, Kelly, you've traumatized my character so much.
That's what I'm here for.
It's not mage if you don't come out of it traumatized.
Yeah, it's true.
Right.
Okay, I will say if Amelia, there is like maybe our like along the line something will happen and I'll change like the general vibe and like it might make sense story wise for Amelia to awaken. And if that happens and if it makes sense for the story, then what happens. But as things stand right now, I'm curious to see where she goes as she is.
Yeah, I agree. I also think that I put a poll up for those of you watching later on YouTube to see who everybody thought the author of the books in the prologue story is. Whether or not it was the 4 of you or Amelia. And Amelia got like 9 votes more than everybody else. And it was like, bitch is going to live in a long time, apparently.
Maybe, possibly.
It's Chaz casting life magic on her to like extend.
Yeah, I guess I need to
just to make her a baby
life
incubator.
magic. I've got one.
Oh yeah, Darcie has the life magic.
She's not the only one now.
I was finding it very funny that out of the 4 of us, so like Evelyn was the only one without votes. The academic of the group.
Well, because it's an author who has a grandchild. It's the twofer, right? Right.
She's also the married one of the group.
Is she though? Is she?
She was. So obviously
I think consider this a divorce.
In the first episode, they were talking about they wanted kids. So she did talk very clearly about wanting children. She was just
so this
nervous
is all
about,
with
like,
the assumption that Evelyn's husband survives and is there to have children
doesn't have
with.
to be him.
Okay, well, if there you go.
I mean, if he dies, then she's a widower and can get remarried.
That's true.
Mhm.
That's true.
And Random
Even if
asked
he
in the
doesn't
chat.
die, divorce is not completely out of reach.
True. Random asked in the chat whether or not Josephine's quiet ended. Yeah, it probably did. Probably ended. It definitely ended by the beginning of book 2. Yeah. Does anybody have any more questions? Do you have any more questions? What do you got? Well, apparently Sold voted Evelyn.
Okay, must have been right at the end then, right after I looked.
And I put also put a poll guessing how many arsons people expected, and there are
I said
35
4 to
votes for
6.
10 plus.
Oh my
35
God. I voted for
votes.
4 to 6 because I thought 4 to
thought-
6 is the high
yeah.
range.
3
With
to
only,
4.
like, Under 8 episodes, I'm expecting like 1 to 2 maybe.
Yeah,
I'm going
you
down like
can't-
Moulin Rouge and Versailles, and that's it.
Yeah, like I'm thinking like 1 to 3, like kind of that range.
I voted twice. I'll be real about that. The first time was my my
Actual one.
idealized Josephine 7 to 9, and then and then I voted a second time for a realistic 1 to 2.
Yeah, because I think we only actually had like 4 this book.
Yeah.
It wasn't terribly many.
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
it was
like,
like
3 or 4.
House, that inn or pub,
the barn or whatever, the stable, place called the
Yep.
stable where
With Dr.
Well,
Willie.
the
I
doctor.
don't know that we
person-
burned that down. Her stuff kind of burned that down.
Yeah,
No,
but
I
we
very
lied.
much
Yeah.
lit stuff on fire.
Josephine started the
Wait.
fire.
Does the Grosvenor Hotel and the Dashwood Estate count as 2 or 1?
2.
It counts as
2
2?
separate
Okay.
buildings.
Oh, that's fair. That's
Yeah.
that's
1,
how we're
2.
doing it. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So the Grosvenor was Evelyn's first.
Aw, it's
Assist.
your first arson.
It
Aw.
was her first assist. She didn't start that one. That was, I think,
Darcie.
Darcie.
My paradox
But she
went off in
assisted
a
by throwing accelerants
way.
in deliberately.
Yeah, you did. You made it better. You made it better.
And thus far, Chastity has had minimal to no involvement in the fire.
You're going
Chastity
Yeah,
start
you
the
actually
fire.
have 0 on the
credit
tracker.
on Wiki.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
assists.
No
Yep.
assists.
What kind of NPCs do you guys want?
Bit of an aversion to fire.
Wonder
I
why.
don't know.
Huh.
Hmm.
Interesting.
I
I
am
don't
very
know.
curious.
Oh, also thanks for the anonymous tip. Someone tipped $6.90.
Nice,
Oh,
anonymous. That's a nice.
Thanks,
Whoever.
anonymous.
69.
60 nice. Oh, very good. I am very happy about that. Good job, everybody. We did it together.
Oh, well, thank you, Gnarly Otaku. They managed to select being not anonymous, so they've outed themselves in the
All
chat.
right, well. Good to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the tip.
Yeah, I don't know about NPCs. I wouldn't mind some that are fairly pleasant, but at the same point, I'm not going to trust any of them.
What?
Yeah.
Without like a
Everyone gets
thorough
one of the
like
pleasant
strip
ones.
search for like that brand.
Yeah, right? Holy crap.
Um,
Darcie was so close to getting branded. Ooh. No.
Right, it's fine. Everything's
No,
fine.
it's not. It's
well,
not.
thank you for the raid.
Hey, good to see you.
But
Who we got?
yeah,
Hello,
no, I wouldn't
Paladin
mind some like,
Archives.
kind of
Oh, nice.
cheerful type NPCs.
Yeah, I know you're gonna wreck us, but like maybe I could feel like there could be some really fun NPCs in the Moulin Rouge. Like that was all about. They called it the women. The
What
Palace to
famous
Women.
figures
Yeah,
do you
yeah.
want to meet?
Ooh,
Oh God, I don't know.
let me look. Oh boy, famous.
I'm
Famous
just thinking people that are
Frenchies.
fairly like cheerfully like verbal, so that they're easy to RP with.
Fair.
That's about it. I wouldn't mind some good RP sessions.
I'll allow that.
I don't have a lot of like ideas of who I want to talk to, per se.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different figures inside of this era, right? So,
I do, yeah. Besides that, like, I want to talk more with Freeman, Vivian.
or Threeman.
Yeah, I want them a bit more developed and more with us. want to actually have the mentoring with my
Yeah.
mentor.
You can have that for a bit. Don't worry. It's fine.
Yeah, I also think that with the loss of Mai and Teddy, at least Chastity is going to be be very appreciative of more presence of both Vivian and Amelia.
Quick
Just
question
like-
about that.
Yeah.
Teddy was
cling
what
onto them.
level of mentor again? Remind me. 3 or 2?
He wasn't on my sheet.
Oh, okay. That's why he was easy to take away. That's why.
Yeah, you could take him away because I never paid for him. They were just friends.
Yep. And I only
He
took.
is not on my sheet either.
You could buy her as a custos, as a retainer.
I could.
Yeah.
Or
I could
companion.
just
There's also
roll.
companion too.
Oh.
Like there's.
I'll think about it, but I
Mhm.
might just leave it be and see what happens.
But look at
in
these
Edward's
lovely
Ball.
dice that I can use to destroy you.
Oh, 85. Darn, I was gonna say Victor Hugo, but that was 1885. He died.
Fair. All
Yeah.
right. So, folks, is there anything else that we want to discuss about this? Because I've got some other cool stuff that's coming our way that I was going to bring out.
There's Monet. Monet.
Monet.
It's funny, chat brought up
Monet.
meeting Mesmer. It's funny because I actually just watched an opera last night, which actually had mesmerism in it.
Oh, there's also Coco Chanel. She's not very old at this point, but she was 1883. She was born.
Yo, she'd be 10. That's the.
Yeah. So I'm just looking up 15 famous French people from
15 famous French. You can also look up 15 famous Belgians.
Oh, that's true. There's also
Or
Debussy.
Germans. They're all over the place.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm excited for this. This is going to be a good book. I'm very excited for this. I'm sorry in advance because I'm upping the ante and doing some stuff that's real bad. But there's not going to be tiny spiders or scarabs. So other than that, it's pretty much open game. It's going to be bad. It's going to be very bad, folks. I'm excited.
Ooh, baby.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking
Please
forward to it.
destroy us.
I mean, I could put Poirot in it. He could be real in this. You never know. All right. So, folks, I think that we're all set. Unless you have any other questions, put them in the chat. In the meanwhile, I want to remind you that next weekend, if you are feeling up to it, we are doing our big once-a-year fundraiser for the channel called Dork Tales Expo. It is a fantastic event where we run, it's either 21 or 22 different events over 3 days. Panels that range from exploring feminism and sexuality and gender through tabletop role-playing games to looking at the way that we use history or music in them. We have a live musical performance from an amazing group of friends of ours coming to the channel. We have panels on makeup and costuming and crafting. We have a panel on why we love the world of darkness. And we have so much more. And there's going to be special goals in mind as we raise money. We're going to be trying to raise as much as we can, but with a conservative goal of a few grand to keep our art and our tech and our new website up and running, as well as podcasts, because everything costs money to do that we do, on top of this being a full-time gig. So hopefully you can do it. It's going to be free to the public, but by donation. And as we achieve goals, we are going to be doing some pretty cool stuff. We also are going to have a Patreon push at the same time. So if you can't drop a big tip, but you can drop $5 a month and join the Patreon, that's just as good. There's a discount that you save 10% if you do it for the year. And I am going to have a bunch of, like I said, there's going to be a bunch of milestones. I'm thinking like every $500 we earn, I'll do another ASMR episode for the YouTube. That's going to be the least of it. Okay. And I'll let you guys vote on what the ASMR episode is on the Discord. It can be like
Ooh.
I'm a dwarven alchemist and I'm here to, fix your whatever. Or I'm playing a mage. What?
I have an idea. It's
What?
Cadmus just working on his axe or something, just tinkering or working on the Duchess. I don't know. Just
yes.
I could do. I'd paint my beard for that. He's got a short
You're
beard.
the
so I could-
Duchess. You're the Duchess, and I'm working on you. That's
Oh,
great.
God.
ASMR.
Do you want me to pull out the tuning forks right now? Do you want me to do it?
Yes, please. I know not everyone
God
wants to,
damn
but I
it.
love the tuning forks. They're great. They gave me the great head. Nope. Nope. Nope.
What? What? They gave her great what?
Good?
The
You
great,
like
oh, you said the great head. Great.
Yeah, I said
Good
they give
job.
me the great head. They give me
They give you the tingles on your scalp. Okay.
they give me the tingles on my scalp
So-
when I said it.
So there's going to be a bunch of goals basically, and there's going to be like, we reach certain good amount of goals. It's going to be like we reach goals, and it'll be like extra ASMR videos, more tutorials on gaming. I'll do my how to run stuff. I'll do more public. I got to do more public releases of like writing stuff anyway, but I'll work on that a little more. Also, I'm going to have a goal on our Patreon, which is at 145 patrons right now. I know that 143 of them are confirmed to be continuing into May. So if we hit 150, we have a brand new game that's going to be running once a month called Star Trek Adventures, and I've confirmed with the game master, Starfleet Command, our very own Millie the Bunny-Hearted, that it is going to be a Lower Decks game, because they're making a Lower Deck Star Trek Adventures supplement.
That is amazing. That
So
is
it's gonna
amazing.
be-
I'm gonna watch the heck out of that on
It's going to be so
VOD,
good. I'm
'cause
thinking
I
of being a
work.
Klingon.
Oh, God.
But
Yeah.
Unhinged.
and I love that I have so many friends like Jen and Robin and Millie and Krista who are willing to run things on the channel to try to lessen my DM load while still providing tons of content for you guys. Because of that, I've said I was going to try to run less games. However, if we hit 180 patrons, I'm going to go 180 on that, and I'm going to run another game. So it's going to be 180 at 180, and I will run as long as we stay at 180. And I'm not sure. We'll have a vote for what that is, whether it's another D&D game. It could be Waterdeep Dragon Heist. It could be another Mage the Ascension game with perhaps a different cast of mages this time. Who knows? Or maybe it'll be a please don't make it be a vampire game. Like, at least not a modern day vampire game. Victorian vampire maybe, but it could be tons of stuff. It could be Werewolf Season 3. It probably won't, because everybody's really busy. But you never know. So definitely, vampires are cool. It doesn't mean I like running the game.
I have to say that Werewolf Season 3 would be such a juxtaposition, like audio and video wise, to seasons 1 and 2.
Oh God. Well, it's gonna happen eventually. We just need to wait for
I
when
know.
Caitlin has more time, right? Because she got baby.
A baby?
She's
I
got a
don't even
baby.
know how I'd get back to that character at this point. It's been so long.
Yeah.
I've done so many things
know.
since. I just feel
I don't know. Well,
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like we'd have a time skip of some sort. I
Yeah.
thought, because I know I need to send Kate to therapy. Like, I'm actually specifically sending her to therapy. She needs it
And
desperately.
Brighton was just coming into like her actual role as Alpha, so you
Yep.
know.
Yeah, but like,
that's
let me know
all
what you want. So we hit 180 at 180 if we hit it during the month of April. Otherwise, I might wait and do some more stuff. There, someone's clipped the head. Thank you very much. But like, I just want to point something out, folks. If you want it, like, those are just some of my role-playing books right there. Like, I got tons that I can run you guys. Yes, it's behind the secret veil. But like, anything from Powered by the Apocalypse to Big Eye Small Mouth, like, I don't care, man. Like, we'll have some fun. And at 180 patrons, I can finally start like affording to do things like pay for editing help, which is just really like most of my life is editing. So it'd be fantastic. Join us for Dork Tales Expo. It's going to be so much fun. There's going to be so many events. We have so many guests from other channels. We've got people like tons of people from like Tabletop Titties. Dead Aussie Gamer is going to be there. Swole Initiative is going to be there. We're also going to have awkward GM Corbin is going to be on hand for a couple of the panels. My good friend Astor Crompton's going to be there on a writing panel along with Travis Legg and Policino. It's going to be fantastic. We got a wonderful group of people here, and honestly, it's really amazing. I know I'm leaving people out. Dice Cream Sandwich is going to be there. Fayfinders is in a few panels.
Off the Beaten Path musical.
Off the
Tori
Beaten
from
Path
them.
are in the music panel. Tori from that is going to be on there, and they're also doing their musical adventure, which is called
Yep.
Injustice for All. It's called
Sparks for Injustice,
Sparks for Injustice. That's right. I knew it was justice related.
which is a choose your own narrator. They have their cast, and they're gonna do an hour of fun choose your own adventure, which I think will be a nice break in the con.
And it's going to be fantastic. I'm sad that I couldn't get as many other people as I tried, but I was reaching out to people and I couldn't. The spots filled up so quick. I couldn't ask for people beyond like a certain number of groups. Like I misunderstood. I underestimated. That's it. I underestimated how many people would want to get involved in this, which is really touching. It's always good when you are like not expecting to have so many people at your birthday party type of thing, you know, and everybody wants to show up. It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jen. I'm sorry. How much do you want? $5?
I may have mentioned in our private chat that Kelly needs to pay me to listen to how many people breathe during audio podcasts.
Jen is
like...
editing Dork Tales the podcast right now, which is coming. It's in the process of being edited, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot more than you'd expect, and there's a lot of.
Yeah.
To be fair,
To be fair,
I'm pretty sure it started in spring when I have allergies.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, it's fine. Really, I can actually identify now the sound print that a breath makes.
yeah, it's a really distinct one because whenever I do voice acting stuff, it's all or like any type of thing, it's always that little whoop, and you're like, oh, you son of a bitch, I know what you are. Right. You get real quick at editing it too. You're like, oh, you just, but then you have to double check that it is, so that it's not someone just being like, well.
Yeah, exactly. And I found that because you were all in the same room, like I'm having to reduce the sound on everybody who's not actively speaking their stuff so that you don't sound, specifically you, because I'm on your voice right now, so that's why. But so I don't have 4 copies of the same voice echoing in a room, which makes the sound weird. So I have to reduce it on 3 tracks so that, and then I go and check and make sure I haven't like accidentally just cut out someone else speaking. And yeah, it's a thing.
Well, especially for DorkPod, I can't sit there and mute. It's not like I can here. When I know I'm having trouble, I can mute and then unmute just to talk and then mute again.
Everybody will just wear breathe right strips when we're recording tomorrow.
Those don't help me.
Just plug your nose. God,
That's
Jen
gonna
would
be
step.
that's even better.
Then you're getting mouth sounds.
Oh no, mouth breathing is the worst. Mouth breathing.
No, it's fine. Honestly,
so
the harder part is when people say their ums directly into words, and I want to cut the but I can't because it doesn't work. But that's fine. I deal with it. But
boy, but yeah, join us, support us, join us on Patreon. Damn it. Because it's honestly worth it. We have so much extra content on Patreon. I was looking up other actual play streams that have Patreons, and they're like, for $10 a month, we'll give you access to 1 additional game per month, and like we give you access to like
4, 5,
4 to 6 depending on the month. Because I'm recording Hunter on Monday, I'm recording Demon on Tuesday. Like it's a lot. It's a lot for $5.
Wait. Is there no shards on Tuesday?
Oh no, I'm doing Shards. Demons next Tuesday.
Okay. I was just like, because I was looking at the calendar and being like, oh yeah.
I was looking at the wrong part of the
on
calendar.
road
I was looking at the wrong
tonight.
part of the calendar.
That's fine. I was just like, I'm like, wait, do I not have Tuesday? Because I'm looking at the schedule going, oops, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Oops. Fun times. I'm excited though. Hunter.
Nice. All right. So, folks, I think that's about it for this episode, though, because I don't want to just faff around. I want us to go out on a high note as we prep to go into the next episode. So I hope you enjoyed hanging out with us, and that I hope you're getting ready for book 2. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to share it with you. I hope you join us very soon. A big thank you to our sponsor, Bookwyrm Games, today for supporting us financially. They're a great company that does great dice, including these fantastic gemstone mage-themed dice. They also have vampire, wraith, and werewolf dice, many different types of vampire as well, and technocracy dice. You can find them at bookwyrmgames.com. They're a local Canadian company, which means that if you are in Canada, shipping is really, really quick. Like, this was like next day for me. And if you're outside of Canada, shipping is free on orders of $100 or more. And that's Canadian dollars, so you're really winning. Go to bookwyrmgames.com right now and use code DorkTales. And message me the next time that you buy channel points. I'll double the amount of purchases that you make in channel points. You buy like 5 Hurt Them Mores, I'll give them 10. Yeah, 10 Hurt Them Mores. I'll go above our caps. It'll be great. And if I don't use them, I'll write them down and use them the next game. So, you know, it's win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win. Many wins. But folks, that's going to be it for us. Thank you so much. Bookwyrm Games, you're amazing. I also want to thank our producers. At the top of it, I have to thank our world building producer, Soul Omen. Thank you so much, Soul, for all that you do. I hope you're doing well. Thank you to my mom, the divine producer, Jan, and my stepdad, Bob. Thank you to Precarious, the demonic producer, and to Tammy, the forever cleric, for being the wizard of the Patreon, which is particularly valuable during a Mage the Ascension game. I also have to thank Taryn, the Traveler, Buddy, Trezelta, Amberthist, Cubby Gummy, Raven with Baubles, Karasha Urquhart, Drew Thompson, Sergio, Chef Eladeth, Larouk, Sorcerer Sanguine, and Mike Baxter for being on the High Council of the Patreon. To hear your name read at the end of this episode and more, go to patreon.com/dorktales today. Support the channel directly. It's a full-time gig, and you are really appreciated for all that you do. I look forward to doing even more and getting even sleepier for you next time. But for now, you can see us next. We're recording tomorrow for Dork Tales, the podcast, DorkPod, and we're back on Tuesday night with Shards of Nirn, Wednesday night with Dragonlance, and then I believe it's a Strixhaven rebroadcast on Thursday. So you got a lot of Dork Tales stuff. We're here like most nights.
Yeah.
We're here a lot. We're here a lot.
Yeah, we are. That's good.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. It's going to be great.
I'm looking forward to book 2. I'm looking forward to my costume. I'm redoing Darcie's wig. Gotta have a new look for
I have to
her.
redo Josephine's wig. What am I going to do?
Yeah, I have to figure out what I'm going to do with that. Because I think Chas's hairstyles got messed up. She's going to have to think about something different.
That's fair. I'm curious what you'll do with it. Like, I think that costuming is going to be really interesting. If I got to figure out what I'm going to do, because I've put on winter pounds, and that's not good for vests. Vests
No, it's not.
are toit. Toit.
Fair. I wrapped up my back again recently, so I haven't been doing as much as I have been trying to do to like get stuff back in place. But it's starting to feel a little better today. So see if stream wrecked it again or not. But I need to get back to doing push-ups. Get my shoulders good again.
I may have purchased some vests for another character.
Nice. I have a new shirt. And I've been trying to do more curls.
Hibernation pounds.
Curls.
Curls for pretty girls. All right, folks, that's going to be it from us tonight. Thank you so much. Remember to always listen to what your avatar says, and to always, I wish you always to roll 10s on your Arete checks. See you in Mage the Ascension the Victorian Age, Book 2, The Diabolical Cage. I can't wait for you to figure out what that title means. Good night, everybody.